Hello there everyone, and welcome back to the Codex. Today we're going to be doing a quick little review of this Baro inventory haul here. This is the, what's today's date? May 18th, 2024 haul. So let's see what he has here. We're going to start off with the things that actually have, like, objective value and or uses, so like mods and weapons and whatnot, for example. So perhaps the two most important things that he brought here is Jolt and Shell Shock, which is the 60/60 electricity and status chance mods for the pistol and shotgun categories. These I probably would buy, even though I forget if I think that two of the four electric mods you are able to actually farm in game. I'm not sure if it's these two, but even if it is these two, the mission where that comes from is the infested hive missions with not a super great drop chance. So I would honestly be willing, like if I didn't already have this, I would probably be willing to spend the credits and the ducats on just getting it from here to skip that potentially very repetitive grind. Or checking out to see what the plat costs are, especially after, like, when Barrow's actually here and he brings them, typically the prices dip back down. So either buying it from him or maybe buying it for plat, either of those options, depending on how you value your time, probably better than farming it. Now, Maim and Fanged Fusillade, this is the 120% slash mod for rifles and pistols. You, in the current, meta and whatnot, and even outside of, specifically modding, caring about meta maximal damage, these mods really aren't great. Most of the time, you don't really want to actually mod for impact, puncture, or slash damage, except in very, very niche scenarios. So, unless you're like a collector who doesn't already have these and you have plenty of excess ducats and credits and whatnot, I really would not worry about getting those. Now, I believe the only other thing on this, or items, plural, rather, on this list that are of actual objective use is the Prisma Grenlock, the Galaxian Vandal, and Primed Cleanse Corpus. So Prisma Grenlock and Galaxian Vandal are mostly going to be mastery fodder. The Grenlock isn't necessarily bad, but just the fact that it's in the sniper category makes it, obviously not used for most content in the game. The Galaxian Vandal is now essentially pure mastery fodder because as of the time recording this video, a few days ago, we just got the Kuva Sobek and the Tenet Galaxian. And the Tenet Galaxian is way better than the Galaxian Vandal, partially, of course, because of the stat differences, but also it's mechanically different in the sense that it chains to multiple enemies, which inherently makes it much better than this weapon, which does not chain. The last thing of actual use here is Primed Cleanse Corpus. This is for, very high-end min-maxing builds. This is a good mod, but most people don't like using the faction mods. They don't like having to manage switching around the mods depending on which mission that they're doing. But in terms of doing maximal damage, like maximum possible damage on your builds, this is a good mod. So if that's what you care about, then definitely pick this up. Otherwise, you can generally just save your ducats and not worry about it. Most of the content won't require it anyway, and even if you are doing high-level content, there's plenty of ways that we have in 2024 Warframe to totally annihilate Warframes. I mean, not Warframes. Please don't kill your fellow Warframes. That'd be bad. To annihilate enemies, rather. So moving on to just the appearance-based stuff, the actual new thing on the list here is the Ultra Sentinel skin, which does look pretty clean, I gotta say. If you like using Sentinels, it looks pretty good. It looks reminiscent to me to the some of the Sentinel enemies that you see flying around when you're in the Void, which is pretty cool. Also, if you know about, Drusus Laverian, having something that's kind of tied to that lore is pretty cool. He's the guy that runs the Laverian, which is the place where you get the Warframe Prex cards and can listen to lore about Warframe in the game and whatnot. It's pretty cool. There's also a matching pair of wings, the Ultra Sentinel wings, which are they look pretty cool. I mean, depending on the Sentinel, how good they look will obviously change depending on how it meshes with the the skeleton, the frame of the Sentinel. But that's all up to taste, as all cosmetics are. There's a Sugatra, which most of the time, most players don't care about. You typically don't notice the little dangly bits hanging off your melee there. Now, this is actually a really cool staff skin, in my opinion, the Anpu staff skin. I think in terms of the fact that this just costs ducats rather than platinum or actual real money for like Tenogen skins or base skins, whatever, this is a if you're using a staff, this is a pretty clean looking skin, in my opinion. And it's nice that it just costs farmable resources essentially. This is Sonic War Elixir skin, which I mean, it's the Sonic. It's like, what do you want, you know? It's an interesting skin if you are still using the Sonic in 2024, which is probably unlikely, but in the occasion that you might be, doesn't look bad. Here is the Rashantar Cult Sign Donna. I'm actually not sure about the lore of this one. The humble sign Donna is modeled on those worn by the children of Rashantar, who formed into a clan devoted to Neja in defense of their home. That's pretty cool. I do like when cosmetics have those lore-oriented descriptions. It's very cool to me. Here is the Gara Immortal skin. This actually doesn't look terrible. This is... I think most of the Immortal skins look basically like trash. They're essentially just weird recolors. This one is, you know, okay-ish. Like, if you don't want to spend plat or real money on an actual skin, you might think that this is, you know, a little bit of an upgrade in terms of having interesting appearance over the base skin. So that's up to you, of course. Now, this one looks real weird, in my opinion. I would never wear this, the Transmuter Operator Hood. For one, I don't like actually having basically my entire operator face hidden. I think that's just doesn't look great. And the actual physical appearance of the helmet itself is very, very odd to me, to say the least. But, again, up to taste. And here is the Fey Path Ephemera, which it is cool being able to get a ephemera for, you know, quote-unquote free, as in not platinum. And this only cost 1,000 credits in 15 ducats, so this is basically free. So definitely, especially if you are like a newer player and you don't have like any ephemeras, you know, pick this up so you can have something to go in that cosmetic slot. And with that, that is a quick rundown of those things. I actually didn't go over these, so the video's not quite over yet. Hang around. Here is the Lisette Prime skin. This looks pretty clean. I can't lie. If I didn't have a skin that I prefer over this, like if I was just using the base skin, I would wear this. I have the Prime skin on mine from the Valkyrie accessories, but this is actually pretty clean. I do like the Prisma flowing effect. Like the liquid void energy is pretty cool. Anaris Tomb scene. This is just a capture scene, so if you like taking pictures and you want a new environment to do that in, that's cool. Here's a Scimitar Prisma skin. Again, just a another Prisma-ish looking skin for a different ship, so if you use a Scimitar, and like I said, especially if you don't have another skin for it, this could be a pretty good deal for you. There's a 3-day credit booster. That does have some actual value, so I should have gone over that earlier. The value of this will depend upon, you know, like how you feel about spending 350 ducats for just 3 days of credit boosting. If you're like, oh, I don't really want to spend plat on it, but I know that I could spend maybe the next day to 3 days really grinding credits like crazy, then maybe this is a good deal for you. Maybe you're like, you know what, I would rather spend 350 ducats than 40 plat for this 3-day booster and just, you know, go and grind out those 3 days and really get value out of it. So you might be able to find some use in that. Here is the EOS Prime armor. Not really a huge fan of this. I'm not sure if it's just because of the default colors and maybe it would look better once you recolor it, but I don't think most armor pieces in the game look good, mostly because of how they mesh with the Warframe, you know, like skeletons specifically. But this, not a huge fan of this. The Deimos Chimeros Prex card and the Deimos Foss Prex card. I'm actually a fan of Prex cards. I think the idea is really cool. I actually have some in real life that I've gotten with some of the statues that I've ordered, and those are super slick. So I do like these. I think these are just very, you know, very clean, slick cosmetics. Here's the Basilisk Fighter decoration, which is actually, I didn't know that it had that like force field effect at the front. That's actually pretty cool. And you can like place that on your ship somewhere. You can maybe set up a little Battlestar Galactica type battle on your ship somewhere. And this is the, as always, Sands of Anaris blueprint. If you haven't done that quest already, to get the Anaris Warframe. So that is everything that he has for today's haul. hopefully that was helpful. Not the most exciting haul. You know, of course, we always look forward to the potential of him bringing a new primed mod or a new weapon. Nothing like that this time, just the new Ultra Sentinel skin. But yeah, I will see you on the next video, and remember, stay unified.